Hey everyone, Sean here, and welcome to another video. It's been a while since I've last made these types of videos. This is actually not my first time doing this, but because I didn't like how it turned out, doing it now. Although it did take a little longer because I did get sick from the cotton flu, a lot of coughing and like my voice just not being up for it. So it did take a little longer than expected, but thought I'd take this chance to at this point do the video. Let's get it out of the way now. And it's been about 3 weeks, more or less, that ever since EVO happened. It's been a long time coming. Overall, I had a good time. Let's get that out of the way. But getting there and just like not literally, but like building up myself. Ever since I was somewhat inspired from like seeing pictures of the 2014 EVO and seeing like certain people like having fun and stuff like that, I just thought, I think it's probably the good time to start breaking out my shell. So that's what I was starting to do all the way up to August 2025. That was pretty much when it started. But yeah, like I used to go there. Mind you, I used to go to EVO, for those who don't know me well enough. And for those who don't know at all, for EVO or Evolution is actually a fighting game tournament type of event. It takes place in Las Vegas usually. It used to take place actually in California a long time ago. A little bit of history there, but they moved to Vegas since then at one point, and it's been the mainstay ever since. They have expanded over the years to Tokyo or just Japan and like other such locations coming up, but mainly it's been a Las Vegas event, at least to a lot of people anyway, including myself. And I was going there ever since 2015, and then at some point all the way up to 19, and then COVID happened. It stopped, and then it did go back up ever since I think it was like 22 and then 23 when it comes to offline events. First couple of years was online events only, and it was what it was. And a couple of times I didn't go because I just wasn't still comfortable with the whole COVID aftershock and paranoia that I got from real life events that happened to me and my family. Long story short, my dad passed away because of COVID, so that really cemented my sort of phobia, or like I guess you'd call it like paranoia when it comes to COVID. I just really did not want to catch it because my dad caught it and he passed away and such like that. Now granted, his health wasn't the greatest. There was that. He had diabetes and all that stuff. I'm not gonna get into it too much, but basically real life stuff got to me, so I didn't go for a long time, and so I didn't really get to see my friends that I really do see at EVO only like once a year, like for 6 years pretty much. But when it comes to EVO, it's it's been 10 years, right, for my sort of journey with EVO, I guess you could say. But this time I was able to go after all that wait. I remember, first talking with Zawa on the podcast, like, hey, it's crazy, man. There's another EVO being announced. We have like 6 months to wait, blah, 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 back in like January or something. And before we knew it, it was coming up. It was around the corner. I'm like, oh man, it's happening. It's going to happen. So naturally, I was both nervous and excited for EVO because, again, it's been 6 years. And, in between, though, I really didn't go to, like, any crowded places or just any place with people in it. That included movie theaters, grocery stores. I was wearing a mask every time I go in, and when I did go in, because of that paranoia. But then it just started to just naturally slow down around like 23 and then 24, especially ever since I got the FedEx job, part time. And then that whole spark in 2024, that really like inspired me to start breaking out my shell. So leading up to this point, again, I was nervous and excited, and then right at the end of July, I had my vacation started from my FedEx job. 2-week vacation, so I was able to use that first week to get ready for EVO, and then go to EVO. So for this time, this is day 0. I have my notes right over there, so I wouldn't be looking up and down, stuff like that, so excuse me for that. Day 0, I actually was able to drive myself for the first time by myself. I took the Corolla hatchback. That was its first time going to Vegas. The only other car that I've ever taken to Vegas was the Lexus IS250, but that got scrapped because of the transmission. So I kind of missed driving that car, honestly, because it's really comfortable as a luxury car and stuff like that. But the Corolla can do it, but man, the seats kind of suck. So definitely I'll take some other measures to get me comfortable for like every 2.5 hours. I'm definitely getting one of those like back rests and stuff like that you can like put on the car seat and like add a little more support, and hopefully that'll work for next time for like long trips, if I ever do, because I just rather fly, but I'll talk more about that. So anyways, I did drive by myself the very first time, and it was just something like it's just something I had to get done because I didn't have my star or whatever you call it, the real ID system, I forgot about. So my California license did not have the star, so I couldn't use it, and my passport has long passed. So anyway, no pun intended, my passport has expired, so I'm not going to do that. Actually though, maybe it might make more sense to use the passport or get the passport renewed versus the star, but I don't know, because I do want to go to Japan someday by myself for like, I don't know, sometime way down the line. But I will worry about that later on. So anyways, on my way there, I like left my house around like 12 or 12:30ish. So the journey began. I tried to go for a rest stop because I wanted to use the bathroom, but I used Google Maps and somehow it fucked up. It like took me to this like weird construction site. I don't know why I did that, but I was like, okay, good, good God, right? So I just went to the nearest gas station and I just took care of it there, and I just bought some chapstick just to be like, okay, I'm that paying customer to use the bathroom, which I kind of needed it anyway, so it kind of worked out because I kind of forgot about it, along with like some hand wipes. So that happened. Already something happened there. I did take a stop at Barstow next, which is like a lot of people stop there for California Vegas trips. I had my lunch there, but I actually did not eat anything at Barstow, or from Barstow rather. I actually had my own food. My family just gave me these sandwiches. I'm like, all right, I'll just eat these instead. So I had my own little lunch, and then took off and did the rest of the trip. And then Las Vegas wasn't in sight. I was like, oh man, it's like bringing back these memories and stuff like that. The vibes. I was like, it's already hitting me, that feeling when you first see Vegas over that hill. It is quite the sight, and it was all starting to come back to me. And as soon as I hit the streets of Vegas, it definitely did hit me more. And then like one of the first things I saw kind of ish along the way was the Sphere. That was like that was like the only new thing to me in Vegas. Having not been there for like 6 years plus. So that was kind of like sort of an eye opener overall when it comes to just like first time seeing it again. And then I got to the hotel, which was the Flamingo. That's where we stayed this time around. And then I met up with my roommates, Zawardo and beautiful. Eduardo is somebody who I always had the podcasts with. He's like the co-host. We do it just for the fun of it. We don't really like do it for any sort of monetary gain or anything like that. Nothing at all. We just want to sit down and talk about stuff, including video games and such. And then I met up with one of our fellow sort of community members of the Yo video games community, because that's like the community that I affiliate myself the most. I used to be very active a long time ago, but then stuff happened, so I just have been very in and out. But there's still a good number of people that know me, so I kind of have that little connection there, including Max and the crew. And so I met up with beautiful Taku. That's another fellow member from that same community, and talks to Zal a lot too. So we kind of have like that sort of connection already. So it's it works. So we got settled into the room, dropped off my stuff. Of course, as soon as I got out of my car, it was hot, it was warm, air was dry. Like I said, like the Vegas vibes just came back to me. You know what I mean? Like it's like mostly like I never left, right? Kind of, because I used to go there like every year for like past 4 years. And then after that, after we kind of got settled and stuff like that, I picked up the badge with along with everyone else. I already started meeting up with like old faces, including one of the other members of the OVG community, Johnny. It was good seeing him, but then I actually ran into Keeters, one of my really like I considered like one of my closer friends, and we used to shoot the shit like a lot back in the day, but he got real busy, I got real busy, so there was a bit of that sort of pause there. And he's been really doing a lot of the artist alleys and stuff like that, so that's why that happened. But I was like, oh my god, like it's you. And we hugged for at least a moment, because he had to get in to get his stuff set up, and it was already like around almost like 8 o'clock. So I was like, yeah, go get your stuff ready and such. But it was cool. It was actually nice to just see him like that. After that, we met up with a rather big group of the fellow YoVG community members, and one of those people, there's always that person that you always see whenever you go to these trips. To me, that was Nurse Courtney. I feel like she's like one of those people that if I don't see her, it's like something's missing, because I believe she lives in Vegas, so there is that too. But it's just one of those things that always happens every single time I go. So seeing her was actually a joy, because I'm like getting back to this whole thing again. So seeing her was really nice. We gave each other heartwarming hugs, a lot of them, in fact. And then of course there's Jetstream Dan. Jetstream Dan, another fellow dude, and I consider a friend too. We were shooting the shit quite a bit, and he was like kind of laying out the timeline for me for when it comes to EVO. And then there's Justin, that I also met up with. Actually, I think might have been like I believe I've talked to him like a couple of times at least. But in any case, it was a long time. So had our little dabs and everything, daps, bring it in, all that stuff. And then I was meeting up with like newer people and like other faces that I was like kind of familiar with, but like again, it was a long time, so I'm like, okay, I remember your face, but the names were foggy to me, type of vibes. And of course, yeah, the newer faces were popping up too. So shook hands with them as well. Also from same community. So we were shooting the shit for a long time. And I was looking for Zawa because Zawa was like, he was eyeballing a bunch of like the gambling machines, slot machines. He's known to gamble. So I'm like, okay. After we found him, eventually we split up. We split because we wanted to like get some sleep with some food, or food and sleep, and like other supplies. So we went to the Walgreens, and then we were just like getting some stuff, including like hand soap, and then what was it? I think it was after that we got the Mexican food, which was like we were looking for some sort of dinner, and we decided. Well, me and Zawa decided Mexican food because we wanted to try the tacos del gordo, which I think overall, most people say it's kind of like overrated, but it's kind of just there. But I wanted to try it anyway, just for the experience. But it wound up being super packed, and the line was really long. It was like actually touching the street, so I was like, nah, okay. So there was a one next to it, and we went there, and that was we were lucky on that one because by the time we were starting to order, the line was starting to build. So I got the al pastor fries and two tacos, two pastor tacos. Couldn't finish it because the fries were pretty big, but I was told by the dude taking my order, it was like, oh yeah, they're this big. So I'm like, all right, I'll take the fries and tacos. But it was like this and a lot of fries and stuff, a lot of like meat and stuff like that. So next time I'm just gonna get the fries or whatever, or just get tacos and in like a burrito or something. So that that little bit was a little funny. So beautiful wound up eating my tacos, so he got free food, and he had his own like he had his like Subway sandwich still, so he ate that for his dinner. And then I was actually starting to really like, after that we were eating in the room, in the hotel room, and because of the flamingo, it's like it's got this lighting. It's got its own character to it. It's a hotel room, but it's got its own character to it in a way because of the pink lighting. And Zao was always like persistent on leaving that on whenever we leave and come back in. So that way, when we come back in, that's what we see first. So the pink lighting is there for him, really. It was kind of like that shtick that we had throughout the trip. And then, but yeah, on the first night that we tried to settle in, I tried to get my Roku stick going, but the cord was too short, and we didn't have any like Wi-Fi connection, or barely, because like of how the hotel Wi-Fi works, because you only connect up to two devices, and I needed two because you have the Roku stick, and then for some reason it was asking for my phone to help set it up, because it's the Wi-Fi or hotel Wi-Fi. So the Roku stick somehow knew, and so it told me to use my phone to like help establish the connection or something. It's so weird. But anyway, I started hitting the hotel already because of the nickel and diamond shit. Not to mention, one of the things I learned about Vegas before even going into it was that you have to pay the fucking parking even as a guest throughout your stay. So it's $20 a night if you want to keep your car in the parking lot for 24 hours. So each night is $20, meaning that you're going to be paying an extra $80 if you bring your car there, which is fucking ridiculous. But it had to be done, and that's what we had to eat, right? We had to eat up that bill, So again, that already added up to my sort of despisement, or if that's a word for it, for the hotel. And it also reminded me of why I always picked the Airbnb over the hotels, because it's just so much more value to me anyway. It's just more convenient. It's just, I don't know. so much more that could benefit you than the hotel. But that's just me. So that's pretty much it for day 0. So it's basically like the trip getting there in the car, meeting up, and then talking some stuff, and then go back to the hotel room with some stuff bought and stuff like that, and the food. The what was it? There was supposed to be one thing we were supposed to be doing, but it wound up not happening because we were just like talking for so much. Because yeah, like it's been 6 years. Like I haven't talked to these guys in a long time, so I wanted to rather spend my time with them than hitting up a card shop and get some Sonic the Hedgehog and Magic the Gathering cards, because they're having the collab at the time. While I do love that, I'd rather just spend my time with the people. That was like my main goal overall, was to meet up as much people as I could this time. After again 6 years. So that was that. This is now day 1. So after waking up, getting ready and stuff like that, we got to the monorail. We bought the monorail pass. Is like what, $30, which I'm gonna be honest, I think overall the monorail is just okay, but I rather just take the Uber because it just felt faster, because it's like once you miss the monorail, it's already an automatic 8 minutes, and not to mention getting to the monorail took like at least 5 minutes for sure. So that's already like a 13-minute window that you have to like cover, or that's already 13 minutes at least, right? Unless we're lucky. And of course, getting there is fucking hot as fuck because it's Vegas. It's actually like super windy this time too, so like that hot air was like blowing my face. And then yeah, plus from the monorail to the convention center, which is the Las Vegas Convention Center, you have to take the Tesla tunnel, which basically is just an underground little tunnel that takes you from one side to the other. So we had, because EVO was in the West Hall, and where the monorail is in relation to the convention center, we had to take the Tesla to the other side to the West Hall, and that's how it worked for us. And so after getting there, although funny because Beautiful forgot his shit like quite a bit throughout our trip. I think he did that twice. So he kept forgetting his badge, and then he forgot something. I forget what it was, but but mostly it was his badge, which is kind of funny, but at the same time like bro, like how do you forget that? But it happened. So we got to EVO, past security, whatever, all that stuff. Security was like a lot faster this time, so that was fine to me. There were during my time, getting through security was like a nightmare. Like it was super slow. They were super unfriendly. Like they threw my stuff like that, like they didn't care. And I was like, what the fuck? Like I didn't say that. I didn't tell that obviously to them, but in my mind I was like, what the fuck? Because I had my bottle, my camera, like my equipment, because I like to take pictures and stuff like that at the time. So they threw my shit like it was nothing. Like, I'm like, what, bro? Okay, all right. Anyway, this time was smooth, super quick, in and out, like kind of stuff, right? Really cool in comparison to before. So I'll give him that. We walked around the venue, and then we were like kind of checking out we were kind of like scouting, and we definitely noticed that Marvel Tokon, the new Marvel fighting game from ArcSys, was the main attraction this time. So it had a long ass line, and we're just like, all right, we're not gonna do that for now. So we're kind of like doing our thing, and then I went to the artist alley. We were kind of checking it out, and I saw Keeters, of course, my good friend. And I saw his stuff. I'm like, all right, gotta get it, man. And in fact, I do have it over here. I'll grab it right now. So I bought mostly Uma Musume stuff because Uma Musume was a hot shit at the time, and it still is, and I really like it. So does he, funny enough. So that kind of worked out. So I bought this one. This is a Bakushin, Sakura Bakushin, for those who know. And I bought Ogre Cap. I really like Ogre Cap. I was lucky enough to pull her in my game, or on my account, and I watched Cinderella Grade like not too long ago. So I have that Ogre Cap high. So I naturally I bought this. And then to cover the 3 charm price, I went ahead and bought Potemkin because it looks really cool. This Potemkin he did was really good. I like this move. So that's why, as someone who did put a lot of Potemkin in season 1, I had to get it. It was really cool. So his stuff is really cool. I really like his charms. His art has been really been refined. It still has that same similar style to it, but there's a lot of refinements that I want to go into too much that really add up to an improvement that I've been noticing from his artwork. So really cool to see that he's been growing as an artist over the years, and I like it. I think it's really cool stuff. And I'm not just saying it as a friend. I say that as someone who pays attention to visual stuff. I used to draw a lot, and I do video editing and stuff like that. So all that stuff kind of comes natural to me in a way, and I pay attention to that stuff a lot. Which is why I also play video games. So because visual shit, movies, all that stuff. I read comics, all that, whatever. Manga, some comics, blah blah, you name it. Anyway, really cool shit. But the rest of that artist alley was really cool too. There is some stuff that I've already put away, so I can't take out everything. But yeah, there is some stuff just randomly scattered as well. But yeah, anyways, I got the charms, and then I ran into another close friend of mine who used to go by the name Endergamma. But now Endergamma has transitioned over to Kate. So yeah, you could say Kate is my first pretty close transgender friend, if that's a way to say it. But she seems really happy with her overall life ever since the transition. And but for sure she was really happy to see me. So I was like, oh man, holy shit, funny enough, we met up at we both bumped into each other at Keeters' booth, and we're kind of shooting the shit in front of him, and then it was great. All the old time, the good times, the reminders, the vibes, and everything was all really starting to come back. And I'm like, you know what, this is real nice. I really missed it, and I already felt happy. That day alone was already happy. So Kate and I were catching up. We're walking, and then we walked across the arcade section. A lot of Japanese arcade machines, really cool. And one of them was this big mecha game. I forgot to take a picture of it because I was so focused on that machine. But basically, it takes you through this long tutorial, makes you kill a couple of robots or mechas, and then you fight a boss. The boss I almost killed, but because of I was still trying to get familiarized with everything, and a little bit of the language barrier, because I do speak Japanese, but not read it. So the barrier is still there for me. And unfortunately, I did not kill the boss. I was close, but I did not kill the boss. Kate did. She was like, "Yeah, this is like very like Star Fox-esque and like all that stuff, blah blah blah." And like, you see, it was fun. We were both having fun. After some point, we did split. At some point, I met up with my roommates again, and they were telling me about this stamp collection event. So basically, what that was basically you go to certain booths and you collect stamps, and when you collect all the stamps, you get a prize or swag, which is like supposed to be a shirt. And so doing the stamp event, I played 2XKO. I think it did improve ever since the alpha or beta, whatever you want to call it, the closed demo. But overall, I think it's not my type of game. As much as I do like playing fighting games, or I'm enthusiastic about fighting games, I think this one's not for me. It felt better, I'll give it that. And maybe playing on controller might be the thing for me. And maybe I'm like been starting to realize more and more I'm more of a pad player for most fighting games anyway. But for Street Fighter, stick, absolutely stick, for sure. But when it comes to games like 2XKO, yeah, maybe pad would have been better, but it wasn't like sticking with me as well. So as colorful and cool as it looks and stuff like that. I mean, it is League of Legends. There is that too. So I'm not like I don't play League of Legends at all. I'm that guy. I just watches my friends play, and so I just don't have a lot to attach myself to. And even the gameplay isn't good enough for me to stick to it. That's just my 2 cents on it. I'm sure it'll like perform adequately once it comes out, but there has been some discrepancies, including the small starting roster. But it is going to be free to play, I think, so it does have that appeal to it, so for sure. So I think the start will be at least decent. Let's just put it that way, I guess. But overall, I did it for the stamp. I picked Vi, I think her name was, the girl that punches a lot. And View was actually playing with me, so we actually were able to do the 2v2 actual co-op mode, which was actually pretty fun, admittedly. But again, it's 2XKO. I don't know. But it is because it is free to play. Granted, that all being said, I might give it like that third chance, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it may take just that one character for me to be like, okay, this is my game, but not this time. But I got the stamp, nonetheless. I can only do so much with the character I got, but yeah. Anyway, at least I was able to like get my kills and stuff like that, but we couldn't quite close it out. But it's fine. It's not a big deal. At some point, we did get all the stamps, but they said, "Oh, we're out of shirts, so please come back tomorrow." All right, cool. All right, it's all good. We'll come back tomorrow. Meanwhile, in that same day, this is still day one, by the way, we ran into Max's wife, JJ, who I do have quite the connection to, because we did talk a lot back in the day. Well, mostly in 2015, and then we used to talk quite a bit, but things got real busy, so the connection isn't quite wasn't there over the years. But as soon as I saw her, she was very happy to see me. And like, she told me I look taller and I look older. I'm like, oh well, I guess I'll take that, because especially with at least 6+ years, yeah, like, it's gonna definitely do something to me, right? But the taller thing, I don't know. Did I get taller? I have no idea. I haven't really measured my height over the years, so I have no idea. But yeah, so we were talking a lot along. We were like walking like all over, I think, and then we got some coffee and another like we got a outside the event or the convention center, went to a nearby coffee shop, got some coffee there. It was like really bougie, so it was like bougie priced. It was good, but it was bougie priced. Um, we talked a lot. We were actually like really, really talking, if you know what I'm saying. And I want to leave it at that because I was like, I was like telling her about my, my 2020 like fucking pandemic life. So it was like not the greatest, but it's like something good to get out of my chest, and um, you know, they like understood where I was coming from. I was like, I was telling them all about like, oh yeah, I was like paranoid. I didn't want to hang out with people over the years because of the whole like pandemic thing, COVID. Especially my dad. Like COVID took him, all that stuff. Um, and then we got back in. She was drinking a lot. Zawa got a drink. He dropped his drink after one drink. I'm like, bro, that's just one drink. And then he was like making excuses, all that stuff. It was funny, like it was like one of those times where, like it was fun to make fun of him because of that. Because Zawa tends to kind of gas himself up about drinking a lot and stuff like that, and with the gambling and everything, and yeah. But he dropped his drink after like one drink. I'm like, bro, that's your first one, and everyone was like laughing, right? Because yeah, like, come on, you're gonna talk to yourself like that, like, you gotta do better. And his excuse or defense was, oh, I didn't have anything in my stomach or something like that. Okay, but that was also why I didn't drink, because I didn't have anything in my stomach. I had barely anything in my stomach. I felt. I mean, I did eat, but still. But for next time, I'll just say fuck it. I'll just have one drink or something. But anyway, which is funny because I haven't had, I didn't even have an ounce of alcohol throughout that whole trip in Vegas. I usually do. I always have some sort of drink in Vegas, right? I'm not a heavy drinker, and I don't drink a lot. I'm very occasional, but it's just one of the things. It's like, oh, man, I actually did not drink in Vegas. Wow, that's actually kind of an achievement. But yeah. Anyways, what was it? Oh yeah. So Willis talking to each other, and the whole the drinking being dropped thing, Zawa's drink being dropped. The AC was cold as fuck, man. Like, it was strong, like, bro. Super, super strong. So that was kind of like, I would say, the prelude to how me and Zawa and apparently a lot of people, how we got sick with the common flu. But yeah, but anyways, it was like me, Zawa, JJ, Justin came in at one point, and then there was like other new faces that I was seeing at one point, including Blitz, I think his name was, and then Igneous and stuff like that, and Joy. Joy was like another fellow streaming content creator type of person. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Who kind of like happens to not specialize, but focuses on Final Fantasy stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. From what I've gathered anyway. So after all that, we were like, okay, we gotta get ready for the dinner. We'll see you there. So then came the mod dinner. I'm like scrolling down from my notes. Then came the mod dinner. So the mod dinner, for those who don't know, was a dinner little event that Muffin Man helped set up. Of course, Max helped a lot because, well, he paid for the entire thing. And this was like with at least, let's say, 40 people. It looked like it was like 40 people at least. So that was a lot of money, because it was a full course meal for each person, a lot of food, drinks, all that stuff. It was the whole 9 yards. It was wow. It was at this Italian restaurant called Piero or something like that. I think it was Piero's or something like that. Good food, you know, but I hated the lighting. Admittedly, I really hated that pinkish, reddish lighting. It was like my eyes, man. It was dim. Like, just, what I also hated was this long table setup. So, and bad enough, I was actually the other side of the head of the table. So I was sitting at the head of the table, all the way from the other side, from where Max was. So I see this row of fucking people, and it just like really brought up my anxiety with crowds like that. I was feeling like frozen, and Zawa broke me out of it by, like kind of like nudging me to get to talk to Keeters and Chris and Kate about Uma Musume. We were talking about that. It was great, but yeah, he definitely helped broke my shell for sure. And then at one point, later in dinner, we were talking about Godzilla, so it was great. It was great. The people were great. I hated the place though. I hated the atmosphere. Food was great. Let's not forget about that. But I hated the atmosphere. I will die on that hill. I already talked about that. We took pictures. That was like one of the only pictures I ever took. I really need to do that. I need to work on that for myself. But I mean, to be fair, my main goal was to talk to people, and that's what happened. I was actually able to at least say hi to Max and like kind of go back and forth a little bit. It was alright. It was alright, but I wish for more time. But he's a busy man. I get it. So at least I got something out of it though. But at least I was able to hang out with Kate more after that, so that was fun. Talk to Ketas more, so that's fun. Grizz, same as well. And then so like I mentioned, Kate was with us when we were leaving the dinner. Although I almost forgot to mention, how do I forget this? So I was told that Piero was like this bougie, fancy place. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna bring out my suit, or I'm gonna bring something nice. And what I brought was like dress pants that I bought from Uniqlo. It's like that breathable dress pants. And then I had my old vest, had my old gray shirt, like gray dress shirt, and a tie. It's an old ass tie, so I gotta like swap out that. And so I guess I'll put in this picture at some point, because that's what happened. Hopefully I do that in post. Anyway, that happened, and when we showed up, it was literally and figuratively fashionably late, and they're like, "Damn, what the fuck, man? I feel underdressed." Like we were like getting those sort of comments throughout, including Steve, including I think Keeter said it like that too, and they're like, "Oh shit." A lot of the guys were like, "Oh fuck." Zawa dressed all fancy too. View kind of did. He had some sort of like robe on or something like that. It was kind of funny, but it actually, you know what? Honestly, like I would do it again. Like I would actually do it again. Like it was fun to dress up for that occasion. I would do it again, absolutely. Anyway, so after all that, we then, finish it off with some with watching Zawa gamble, and I did that with Kate. Me and Kate were just talking about stuff, just really catching up with like all the stuff that happened in 2020, including the AI stuff, and then of course Uma Musume more, and just like other shit too. And I was also like kind of like asking like how she was doing like in real life and all that stuff too, and all that stuff. She was drunk from the dinner, so she left her food, her leftovers, at our hotel room fridge, which she never picked up ever. She never ever picked up that plate of food, unfortunately. So we had to throw it out by then when we were done with EVO. And so yeah, I even forgot her food the entire trip. So that was pretty much that. You know, it was fun talking to her. Really, it was good to see her, that she was like really happy for the most part, despite all the frustration, stuff like that. It was just good seeing her doing well. Day 2. This is all, that was all day 1, man. It's crazy. That was all day 1. Crazy. So day 2, I'm going to try to get through this as fast as I can, but it's almost an hour. Like, fuck, dude. Anyway, day 2. We got lunch. All right, which I think that was the food court chicken tenders, which that does fill you up, but it's $16. Anyway, would I get it would I get it again? We'll see. We did try to get the shirts again from 2XKO, and they were like, sorry dudes, we were out again, try again tomorrow. But them saying that, they give us a sticker that they helped us, and all they did was give us a little pin. It's like, all right, cool. I think I lost that pin, honestly. It's like so small. But anyway, is it in my bag? I have no idea. Sadly, I don't know. So we got the sticker to mark like, okay, we've been helped or we've been served, kind of, if that's the word for it. But not long after, it was like an hour or two later, we saw the shirts. They were like, oh shit, they got the shirts now. Let's go back and see if they can make up for it, right? Or we can kind of, get our shirts. We came up to them, we approached them, we're like, hey, we didn't get the shirts, blah, blah, blah. But we got the little, and then they saw that we got the sticker on there. So they're like, oh, sorry, we already helped you, so we can't give you the shirts, but you can do the stamp thing again, right? Like, you'll be able to do it all the time. And me and View said no, we're not doing that again, unfortunately, because time. And Zawa, though, funny enough, was the last one to get some sort of shirt. And we sort of then hashed a plan. So basically, because it was only like this little sticker that they use as a means to, like a mark, right? We took it off. I gave my stamps to Zawa, and Zawa turned it in for me, and he wound up getting the shirt, the clothing, I should say. Someone else we actually ran into helped View get his stuff too, funny enough. So we kind of like did this exploit. It was so funny that we were able to get our shit. And then after some point, well, let me say this before. What they need to do for next time, this is my form of criticism here, that 2XKO booth should have had some sort of IOU system. Like, hey, we didn't give you the shirt, here's an IOU thing with our signature on it. Give us this, we'll give the shirt. Why didn't they do that? I don't know. But that's what should have happened, but it didn't. We almost didn't get anything, pretty much. We only got that little lame pin that I lost now. But yeah, at least we got something out of it though. And then we also got more swag from this time, the MK little shirt booth. It was like third party, but their shirts were pretty cool, but they were $60. So they were actually, though, that being said, they were actually doing an event that they were giving out 500 free shirts. So the first 500 people can get those for free. So we partake in that. The worst thing happened because they said, we're not going to do a line, so just come in. So we all like, I guess we're like shoved in there like cattle, but I luckily crawl through, like snake through my way into this corner of the booth. It was like a I don't know, like a what would be the right dimensions, like it's like maybe 30 by 30 or something like that. I don't know, maybe 50 by 50, but it was already packed. I found a little corner and I had all this space, so I was like, okay, I was good. Like, no, I had breathing room, I was relaxed, I was good. But meanwhile, people were like, like pretty scrunched in, and I found this dead space in the corner, just somehow miraculously. Anywho, after some time we waited, and I was playing my Uma Musume game. Meanwhile, we then were getting the shirts. They were like throwing at us like this. They're like really like tossing those shirts. The shirts came in these bags. Naturally, one got like some people were getting hit in the face. Like, oh my. But I got my shirt, and I was right there by the exit. So I was like, hey, all right, let's go. And then I got in there easy. But yeah, it was kind of chaotic, admittedly. And then my character that I got for the shirt was Sub-Zero. I'm like, all right, well, it's better than nothing, but I wanted Hanzo or Hanzo Hasashi or Scorpion personally. But it is what it is. It's a free shirt, so I'll wear it for the house. Anyways, so that was a couple more swag that we got. I like my note I wrote down. It said we were lined up like cattle, but I found the corner with the dead space, so I was actually pretty good. After that, we took a little break, so we went upstairs, and Zawa met up with another fellow Magic the Gathering player who also is like part of the sort of the dude community or the YoVG community. I believe his name was Crimson. Something, but Crimson for sure. Crimson Knight. Anyway, they were playing Magic, and then Vio was like, he went to go back to the hotel room, and then came back again to get his cards to assemble his deck, and then they were like helping him doing so. But of course, a lot of the time it was Crimson Knight and Zawa playing each other. And I was playing my Uma Musume game. I was like, all right, cool, chilling, relaxing, all good. And then we were looking at our swag, especially with the 2XKO one, and then we realized these weren't shirts for me and View, but these were actually hoodies. They were hoodies. I was like, oh shit, you know what? I'll actually take a hoodie. I'll take that. Thank you very much. I could use a hoodie. Like, I'm cool with hoodies. I would definitely wear that for the winter. And man, if it was a zip hoodie, perfect. But you know what? Hey, I'll take a hoodie anytime. So that actually kind of worked out. So I was super fine with that. And then after that, this was like getting close to evening. After that, we looked at the token line for Marvel token line, and we were like, you know what? Why don't we just try? Why don't we try to get in the line and see if we can make it in or not? And then that one that one volunteer was like, "Are there any pad players?" And we were just like, "I will play on pad." So we got to we got through the line real fast. So here's the hack: be a pad player, and you'll play those games real fast. You'll get in that booth real fast. So me and Zawa were playing Tokon. I picked Miss Marvel, Iron Man, Cap, and Doctor Doom. Out of all the characters, I did not get to play Cap. He was always stuck in the back or whatever. It's fine. I don't care for Cap. Iron Man was Iron Man for the most part. Miss Marvel was pretty fun, but she plays like Spencer. Doom was like the most different from what you expect from Marvel 3, and it was pretty fun, I'd say, admittedly. And I was like the only one who was like actually doing supers, and they were like, "How do you do that? How do you do that?" I'm like, hey, I'm hitting triangle. I was just hitting triangle, and I was getting the supers. They're like, "Bro." They're like doing like the quarter circles and the back quarter circles and all this input hoopla shit. I was just hitting I was hitting triangle and I was getting it. Gotta love those auto controls or whatever. It was funny. But I think overall the game looks really cool, and this is more of my alley. I think in comparison to 2XKO, I think this is a little more unique and fun, because you do start off with one character for a 4v4 game, and you start to gain characters as you fulfill conditions, including wall splatting and wall breaking, getting defeated, and then such other conditions as well. So it was pretty cool. It started to click in, but then of course, being a demo, you had to get the fuck out, unfortunately. But you know what? I can get behind Tokon more than I can with 2XKO. That's my honest opinion about it. Funny enough, though, I think that this game is something for me to play on pad, is what I kind of like felt when I got my hands on it. So it kind of all worked out, I think. I'm glad I was able to play the game, whether it be on stick or pad. And then after that, I did play Sagat, so that's where I got the tote bag and stuff like that. When it comes to the Tokon booth, I got the pin. That's all they gave out, sadly, but it is what it is. I got to try it out. It's all that mattered. So pretty fun game so far. I can get behind it. It's just like I want to get more behind it once the game comes out, and of course see who else is coming along. And speaking of the characters I picked, Miss Marvel, I picked Iron Man, Doctor Doom, and Cap. But I didn't even really get to try out Cap. I got to try out all the other characters except for Cap, funny enough, but whatever. I'll have my chance. But Miss Marvel is pretty cool. Iron Man is pretty straightforward. He pretty much kind of plays like what you expect from Marvel. Like he has the unibeam, all that stuff. Does not have the repulsors like this. He doesn't do the repulsor blast anti-air move or whatever. He just shoots the repulsors like machine guns or whatever. Obviously different normals for Iron Man, but other than that, by principle, he kind of plays the same. But Doctor Doom, very different. Very different Doctor Doom. He has a shield, right? He can put out a shield, kind of like a Aegis Reflector, but not so much. It takes hits, whatever, all that stuff. It's a shield. But you can put it out like different distances, different parts of the stage, whatever. So you can kind of like try to do some cheeky setups or something like that. And then he has like a command grab or something like that. Kind of different, a little bit. Does not have the finger lasers or whatever you want to call them. So it's a pretty different beast for this Doctor Doom. Miss Marvel pretty much plays like Spencer, kind of. That's like the closest comparison I can think of. And yeah, pretty fun though, pretty fun. And then again, back to Sagat. Played him. doesn't play whole lot different, except he has more knee moves, more kicks. His combo game is a little crazy, but also, from what I've seen now, he still has his weaknesses, very apparent weaknesses, and I don't know if he'll be top tier or whatever, like top tier, but we'll see. It just all depends on players like Bonchan and stuff like that, so we'll see. His input for, I can say, the low tiger shot is different now, because whenever you try to do his kick in with the fireball motion, it's the knee. I think that's the new knee move he has. And instead, if you do like a certain punch or what was it? It was like it's like there was jab, not forward. Anyway, it's light punch, medium punch, and heavy punch. Whenever you do one of those buttons with the command, that will have him do the low tiger shot. So it was a little weird to get used to, but luckily I wasn't like super ingrained with Sagat as much, so I kind of got used to it fast. But yeah, his legs are really long in that game. That's all I can say, because I was playing against my friend Zawa, and he picked 2 characters that he usually plays, so it was a bit of a handicap for me, but you know what, hey, that works out for me because I don't want to play a mirror match of Sagat anyway. So I got to kind of like understand and see how Sagat kind of fares against certain characters, including Zangief. So yeah, anyways, Sagat was pretty fun though, no matter what. And I can't wait to see him, how he plays competitively for Street Fighter 6. But we did get a little teaser for Crimson Viper, although the way it was revealed was a little of a botched because of Sony, how they revealed her too quickly or too early, unfortunately, but it is what it is. But Alex, I'm waiting for Alex, man. I'm just sitting here waiting for Alex. That's all I can say. At this point. So after that, we actually ran into JJ again with her her friend who, does the whole Final Fantasy content creation thing. I think her name was Joy. I think that was her name. We ran into them, talked a little bit, and then we were like actually finding Steve, and we found him at one point. And I actually talked to him too. It's been too long, 6 years, blah, blah. I forgot. Also, day one, I met with Kenny, so yeah. And then Simmons, I actually talked to him at dinner by the end, so yeah. But yeah, seeing Steve was always funny. He's always funny. And I actually stopped by this punch machine in the arcade area, and we were all trying it out. I did my punch, and I got 140 kilograms per whatever, right? Which was like, right in the middle. I was more, which is more than this couple of people, but there were also other people that like had 200s, 250. It was crazy. So, maybe like mid high, but I'll put myself in the middle. So. Gotta work on my punch for next time. I kept doing the uppercut or whatever, like a side hook, almost uppercutish, hookish. A little weird in retrospect, but I still did pretty well, all things considered. And then so whenever there was the one dude who did 250 kilograms on that one punch. He actually beat the level. Like, he saved the world, and we're all like, yeah. Imagine, the Squid Games gif with the guys like, yeah, like, hyping up and shit, screaming, roaring, all that stuff. That's the moment. After that, we did play some pinball. I was locked the fuck in at one point. Zawa was like really like noticing that too. And now we were playing the Godzilla pinball machine. I got a lot of points too. I almost got like 100 million or something like that. It was quite a lot. I was locked the fuck in. And then after that, we played some Tatsunoko versus Capcom, which was like the classic version. So it was like I did not have my characters, unfortunately. There was no Frank West, no Joe Condor, none of those characters. I was like, oh, I love those guys. Anyway, so I picked Ryo and Alex. Alex was really fun, but yeah, Tatsunoko was something else. After that, I met up with Keeters and Chris. We walked around the venue because they barely had any chance to do so. So they were like doing their walk. So I walked with them. Keeters like played some arcade games a little bit. You know, I watched him. It was nice. It was like old times again. Really, really, really nice. And then I watched Zawa gamble some more, and he had a chance to get a jackpot, but didn't happen, of course. So that was pretty much it. That was all she wrote. And unfortunately for dinner, I only had Johnny Rockets because I was lame. I kind of, if there was one regret, that was the regret. I should have said, you know what? We're gonna go get some fucking pancakes or something, man, something. But to be fair though, I was kind of tired already, and I just wanted something to like quick and eat it, you know. But for next time, this is one of my resolutions or whatever. Do not get any food court food or dinner. This is Vegas. Gotta get some Vegas food. When it comes to lunch, yeah, free reign a little bit, but I rather not do that during dinner. Just saying. Anyway, that was all day 2. Now day 3. This is finals day. So this is where we spent most of our time at the stage. Max and the OVG crew had their own watch party, like stage setup thing. And overall, it was a cute experience, I would say. My only gripe was like the seating could have been better, like the spacing on the seats could have been better, and the sound mixing was a little wonky, but you know, nothing could be done because of how, you know, the direct feed and all that stuff works. Doesn't, yeah, you know, they're not just given the feed or anything like that. They're only given basically like, you know, what you kind of see on your computer. That's the sound we get, you know what I mean? So the mixing there was a little wonky. Again, no direct feed or anything like that. So you can't like individually like lower audios and stuff like that, like that sort of business. You know, it was only like VOD, Max and the dudes, that's it. You know what I mean? So it was a little hard to balance that out. So that was that. We watched most of the top 8 stuff. I was like 3 rows back from the middle, and I was right in the middle. So you kind of see me. I was like right behind where, if we're gonna talk about the relation to the camera, I was right behind Simmons, and at one point when I go like this, you can see me. For those who care. But top 8 itself, I gotta say, Fatal Fury takes it, bar none. Bar fucking none. A lot of close games, really exciting. It was really cool. Fatal Fury, I think, really had a welcoming debut to EVO, thanks to that. It was really, really good. And of course, with Goichi and then the other player's name, I forget. It was really, really good. I remember that moment, you know, Goichi, it was against Goichi and another player. And he had his little bit about like crashing out. It was all for fun. Although unless you don't know the lore, yeah, you know, it was a bit It was a bit of a tease. It was all for fun, but it was funny. It was still funny still. And then yeah. So like I wrote down, it was very close games, very very good. Tekken, unfortunately, it was good, and then the mirror match happened with the Annas. But who would have thought? Like I actually did not think like Anna would be up there, but I didn't realize she was like a debuff character. So I was like, oh okay, so maybe that really does a number, I guess. But I did not think she would be top character like that. I guess maybe might just be the case of like Arslan Ash just being that good, and of course Atif being that good as well. But man, Atif, man, poor guy. Like he's forever stuck in second because of Arslan Ash. He's just that good. Arslan Ash is just that good, you know. But gotta give it to the Pakistanis, man. It's the Pakistan players. Um, it was a top. It was a Pakistan Grand Finals once again. That's how good they are. But this is like the same case with Saint and JDCR back in the day, in 7. They were just dominant at the time. So eventually, their time will come that they won't, meet up for Grand Finals at least. But we'll see about Arslan Ash though. We'll see about that. At one point though, I was getting sleepy, so I had to take a nap for like 20 minutes upstairs. And I came back, and while I was actually walking back, Armor King's reveal already happened, or his gameplay reveal has already happened. And to be fair, that was really cool. I would have been really excited to see, but I missed it unfortunately. And then I caught a little bit of the new character, and I thought that was Christy at first, but no, it's another character. It's a new ass character. Once I came back, I helped JJ and the rest of like the helpers to get the posters like all ready and to be given out to whoever wants them, because there's a lot of free posters, a lot of free little Benny plushy things. So because they like ordered too much, so they give those out. And yeah, another little happy memory kind of thing coming back, because I used to do that a lot too. I used to help out a lot back in the day, but a couple of things have changed. But then during the Street Fighter 6 finals, I stepped out actually to have Korean barbecue with Keeters, Chris, Zawa, and then their friend Gary, who also streams. Very, very nice guy. He's a very cool dude, I will say. Very, very nice fella. We went back to Huaro, because that was like our little tradition. We always went to Huaro to have Korean barbecue to like wrap up Sunday. And yeah, dude, it was really nice to have bulgogi again, man. I haven't had bulgogi in like a long ass time at a Korean barbecue place like that, and it was nice, man. It was definitely nice, especially to have it with friends. So that happened. We went back to watch Grand Finals. Minardi took it, made Kakeru look like he didn't know how to play. Very dominant top 8 for Minardi for sure. And in fact, I think there was a very dominant run for him overall for EVO. So he really was on fire, I think, from what I've heard anyway. And then this, after that, this was one of those hard times, because this was the time to say goodbye. This was the last time I got to say something to Keeters, Chris, and a bunch of other people. Right? That was it. That was EVO. It was definitely a very warm welcome back. I really was happy to see all the old faces I met, including Kate, Keeters, Chris, Jesse and Dan, Justin, you know, Johnny, and then later on Gary for the Korean barbecue stuff. RoboCop, and then like yeah, there's so many other people, man. It was crazy. Even Tree, but of course there's Courtney, man. There's Courtney, always so happy, you know. Yeah, it's like man, a lot of people, of course. But there was one more thing I really forgot to mention though. I should say this, man. Funny a little bit because I saw Kaino Not at the mod dinner, and he was like sitting like right there next to me. So Kaino Not is an artist who also runs his own little artist alley booth. And one of those days, I think it was like day 2 or something, he liked I was wearing this Godzilla shirt, and it was like, you know, Godzilla with the tsunami and everything. And he and his friend loved it so much that Kaino Not decided to give me a Godzilla poster. Like he's like, yeah, hey, what's up, man? Like, I really like your shirt. You know what? I'll give you a free poster. I'm like, bro, thank you so much, man. Like, wow, like I like your art and everything. Like, god damn, man. Like, you know, you didn't have to do that, but thank you, man. And he was like, yeah, you know, bro, you know what? We Godzilla fans gotta stick together. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, dude, hell yeah. I'm all for that. So during the day 3 or finals day, that's when I got my poster. And at one point I did hold it up like a little the poster like you see like in the like WWE matches or something like that. You know what, honestly, I should bring some sort of poster to hold up during the finals day. It needs to be like really loud in colors, but something, of course, relating to fighting games, man. Like something, you know. I don't know. Any ideas? Maybe give them to me or something in the comments. I love to read that. But anyway, so after all of that, we went back to the hotel room. Zawa wanted to gamble fuck him one last time, so he went with View, and then he also met up with somebody else. And then, yeah, I stayed. I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm too tired. And then, by that time, man, that was over. It was, that was it. That's how we wrap it up. That's how we wrap it up, guys. Okay, so, of course, this was day 4. This was, you know, wrap it up day, right? Zawa was the first to leave because his flight was like in the morning, so, you know, the goodbye wasn't quite what would expect. So I was like sleepy still, you know. I was like, hey, bye. I was like still in my bed and all that stuff. He left first, and then View left second. I also said bye to him like that same fashion. Although that'll be funny, it is funny because you'll know later on. And then by 10 o'clock, I woke up, put everything back in the bag, locked everything up. I carried all my stuff. I said fuck you to all my pack of water, because there was so much water left. I'm not carrying all that shit back. You know, the cleaning crew can have that. Same with the Gatorade, because I brought Gatorade to the place just in case someone gets a nasty hangover. Although funny, because it was cucumber lime Gatorade, and Kate was the only one who actually drank it. I had my bottle, but it wasn't even for the hangover. It's just me trying it out. And then, what was it? So I left last. Checking out was really easy. So yeah, it was time to go. Um, See, like the evil blues is like kind of starting to come back a bit. I'm like, fuck, dude. But anyway, gotta get out of there, man. I'm the one with the car. Let's bounce, you know, get some gas, we bounce. So yes, I was the last one to leave, but then little did we know, View got to see me again because View took the Greyhound or whatever. He took the bus, and he got fucked over because apparently they sent him to the wrong stop somehow, and he already missed his last bus or whatever. So he DM'd me in Discord like, "Hey, are you still around in Vegas?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm about to go. I'm about to leave, man. But what's up?" And he told me all about that. I'm like, "Oh shit, dude! Like you're lucky because I'm still here, but I'm about to go, brother." But I was able to pick him up, and then I met him. I came across this like security guard. He was a fucking asshole, dude. He was just like, "Get the fuck out of this parking lot." I'm like, "Bro, okay, well, can you tell me where can I park?" Like, like you just tell me to get the fuck out. I'm like, "Okay, man, have a day, have a day." Fucking asshole. Like, okay, what's his problem? Okay, but nonetheless, though, I got View. I picked him up. He paid for my gas. I'm like, you know what? I worked out because I kind of needed to give. I wanted to give Zawa half of the payment because he offered to pay for my parking. So I felt bad. So I kind of felt bad. So I was like, you know what? Let's split it at least, right? But then yeah, gas money threw that to Zawa pretty much. So that kind of worked out. You know what? I'm like, all right, let's get out of here, man. Let's go. Let's go home, back to Cali. So we drove to Barstow once again, and this time I got the Del Tacos from Barstow because they have the Barstow meal or whatever you call it, the combo meal, which is like two big ass tacos. They're pretty good. Like, I don't know if it's me, but the Barstow tacos are like really good. And then like a quesadilla. I added chicken to mine. It was nice, man. It was actually a nice meal. And then and a drink. So I got fruit punch. It was nice. But I gotta say though, fucking Barstow is hotter than Vegas, man. Like what the fuck? What the hell? That's crazy. I thought Vegas would be hotter, but Barstow, god damn, this shit was hot. Like lucky I was like, we had Del Taco to stay inside for a bit, but damn man, shit. There was one thing that happened too. Willis having Del Taco. I went to go. We were waiting for our meal. I went to go to the bathroom, took my business, right? Went to go pee or whatever. I come back out. As soon as I came back out, I saw him. Like the whole thing. He somehow like dropped his drink or knocked over his drink. Poof. Mess. Oh my goodness. Yeah. View was funny because it's like I don't know, man. Like he seems cursed when it comes to like traveling or something like that, man. Cause last year, from what I've heard, he had his flight canceled because the whole like computer fuck up thing from Microsoft. Or Windows. Holy fucking shit! That was a whole. That's a disaster and a half. Holy shit. And like, you have the Greyhound stuff that just happened. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. How cursed can you get? And then the drink thing is like on top of it, man. And he kept forgetting he forgot his wallet, I think, at one point. He forgot his EVO badge. Like, god damn, man. Like, brother. Some makes me feel like his travel days can be very mixed. Very, very mixed. So we're getting back. I was starting to get sleepy, bro. Like I was like fighting it, man. I was like, oh, and then my fucking back, my ass was hurting. I power through it. I dropped them off at the Union bus station in LA. Got my ass out of LA and drove back to in the South Bay, man. I'm out of that fucking shit. I hate LA. I fucking hate LA. I don't like driving in Vegas. But fuck LA though, man. LA is so bad when it comes to driving, like around that certain time. Holy fucking shit. Especially during anime con. God damn, man. That shit's cursed. Anyway, I'm back home. And I did notice something. I'm like, uh-oh. Because my throat was like starting to get something. And I actually felt something though, to be fair, during that Saturday night-ish when I was with Zawa to watch him gamble. He also told me like the same thing. And so we actually kind of got something similar from EVO. So us, along with like actually a couple of other people from the dude community, and like just a number of people, everyone else, got the Ebola, man. It was kind of awful actually. So it was like this whole welcome back package. Like, hey man, welcome back. Remember these experiences, but also this experience. Yeah, man, you got the conf flu. You got the convention flu. For me, I was like coughing the entire time. Even so, like here and there now. But during those 2 weeks after EVO, yeah, that shit was ass. I mean, at one point, it was like actually pretty good, but then like out of nowhere, my phlegm really started to kick in and like just, So at one point though, I was like, oh no, like, did I get it? Like COVID and all that stuff. But no, like none of the people around me got COVID. I still have my smell and taste. None of my folks had COVID, so I think it was just a case of just regular ass cold / Ebola, as a lot of people like to call it. But that was my EVO experience. I, for the most part, had a good time. I would like to do it again, but there are definitely things I want to address and do something different. But I will say though, for EVO itself, like I said, the spacing could have been better, especially with the stage setup for the watch party. But there are some places where there's a lot of foot traffic, and like the foot traffic control and all that stuff wasn't like most adequate. So hopefully they can improve upon that, like the placing and the spacing and just like how foot traffic worked that time could have been better, I think. But it's definitely difficult for sure. Running a convention is not the easiest thing in the world. Definitely not. But nonetheless, though, hopefully they can work on that. And then the other thing I was hope to see is maybe implement some spots to go like take naps or something, or go rest. Because I think that could come in real handy. TBH. But I think that's really it. That's like really all like my criticisms I have for EVO. The water was pretty decent. I remember there was a time where water was like not a thing, and that was not okay. Hell no to that. But water is like adequate enough, at least. But yes, Vegas still sucks. Vegas still sucks. But that's Vegas. But for next time, what I will do differently, hopefully, is to bring one of those like fans, like you can put on your belt, so that way I can like blow air into my back, so I don't get like this nasty fucking backpack sweat. I've already bought one, like right after, and I tried it out for work. It's like okay, but it's been humid, so I don't think it works like that. It'll definitely, hopefully, work better in like dry heat, because it's just the way air works. So hopefully that fan will work wonders for that. Other than that, I'll bring some hoodie and some pants, like actual like maybe like like the one of those like really breathable pants. That would be nice, because yeah, the AC was just too strong, man, too much. And then funny I said backpack. I'm gonna try a gym bag. I'm gonna try bringing a gym bag instead, just because like I feel like I'd rather have something on my side than something on my back. You can kind of like do like this, like one of those sling bags, but like, but the sling bags are pretty much like backpacks, so I don't know. Just something like that doesn't really fly with me. I'd rather have some sort of like gym bag than anything, like a duffel bag, if that's the other word for it. The other thing I should really do is to take more pictures of me, myself, me, myself, and I. No, myself and my friends, like selfies or whatever, man. I really needed to do that, but I was too into it. I was really busy, like just talking to them, because to be fair, it's been 6 years, like I said. So, but nonetheless, I need to take more pictures so I can like have like a big collage or whatever. And then what I might do next time is, whenever I'm not with Zawa when he's gambling, is to work out, because honestly, I could have like used that time to go work out. I could have gone work out at the Flamingo, but I just said fuck it. I was too tired by the time I actually thought of it. And then this next one I wrote down is to get an Airbnb, which is actually seems like more likely to happen, because I already told Zawa, and Zawa was like, okay, pretty much, TLDR. Because again, like I talked to Kitas about it, he was still doing the Airbnb stuff, and from what he told me, seems like still the meta, like it's still like a really good option. And it really reminds me of why I forgoed the whole hotel room thing, because you have so little room, the Wi-Fi sucks, like you're just stuck in a room with like a bunch of guys, right, or gals, I don't know, depending on your experience. But Airbnb, of course, you got to be careful, you gotta read, but you have a whole ass house with a number of these rooms. You have so much more room. So you're gonna have a fridge naturally. You're gonna have Wi-Fi built in there. No limit on devices. So it's just so much more value. Now, yes, you probably have to bring your own shampoo and all that shit, but we can always take care of that at Walgreens or something like that. I bought myself hand soap because there was no hand soap in the hotel room, so I had to do that. And then, but yeah, Airbnb I think is still the way to go. Of course, again, depends on what you get though, and research and stuff like that. And then one last thing, of course, I'm gonna try to fly. As much as I love to drive, as much as I love my Corolla hatchback, I've been really washing it, detailing, all that stuff, taking care of it as much as I can. As much as I, kind of treat her like my little puppy or my little baby. Driving to Vegas kind of sucks. I mean, if there's a time for it, will I do it again? Probably, but maybe rent a car. I don't know. But I just would rather try to get the passport renewed, or get the real ID shit and fly. If I am gonna fly, I am not taking JetBlue because during like EVO, there's another huge airport or air travel type of a disaster. And so what happened was the East Coast, like that entire East Coast pretty much had their flights canceled. It was horrible. It was horrible because one of our members, Tiffany, missed out on the fucking dinner because of that, and missed out on her like business stuff, like the interviews, all that stuff she had to do, she had scheduled for. None of that happened on that day. At least she missed that Friday, but that Friday was the dinner, you know. Like I don't want to imagine what I would feel like if I missed my flight like that, and I'm the, and I was like, like, oh yeah, 6 years, blah blah blah, like all that stuff, right? Like, imagine that happened to me. Like, holy fuck, man, I'd be sad. I'd be fucking depressed. It's like, I would miss what I felt like my reason, in a way. Like, I can still talk to him on the venue, sure, but the dinner, man, like, you know what I mean? It sucked. And I heard JetBlue didn't even do a good job like compensating. Like, what the hell? And funny because I my first EVO, I took JetBlue, and I almost had my entire trip canceled because I could, they canceled my flight due to mechanical failure. And just like, bro, and I caught the last flight, like, luckily, to Vegas. Like, man, I don't know how I got lucky with that shit. But as soon as I like was done with that, I was like, yeah, JetBlue is kind of like cursed. Yeah. That JetBlue is fucking cursed, brother. All right. So yeah, we're back though. I'm gonna hopefully fly, and I'm gonna take Southwest, like, or at least not JetBlue. That's for sure. I'm gonna do Southwest or Delta, either of those two. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're back. Already got some videos out, all that stuff. I do apologize though, because this is like a long ass video, and in fact this is even a longer one than the other one. But you know what? I don't give a fuck, man. I want to talk about it. This is my experience. This is EVO. This is EVO we're talking about. So that's it for me. For reals, that's my experience with EVO. Liked it. Could have been better, yes. There's still areas to improve. And there are things I like to improve upon for myself, from my personal experience for next year. And hopefully that can get implemented. And again, no fucking food court food for dinner. And I will want to like to try one of the buffets, because that was like one of the other misses. We did not have any buffet of some kind, but that's okay, because my main goal was to talk to people, and that's what I did, and I'm happy with that. Any comments, anything related to the video, leave it down below. Hit the like, subscribe, all that stuff. I do appreciate you guys, and I know it's a long ass video, so I apologize for that. Kinda not really, but whatever. So anyways, thank you very much, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Sean out.